statistically but did not shoot the ball well, was abysmal in that game. I expect him to take over this game because he's their best driver of getting to the basket.
And let's get this show on the road. We turn you now over to our Coliseum announcer, Tom Puliano, for the player introductions.
First up, for the Mindoro Hams Senior Idol G-Stars. At center, number 11, Daniel Byron. Power forward, number 8, Lars Suga. Small forward, number 1, Mark Cuenco. At shooting guard, number 17, Hallie Ajero. And at point guard, number 4, Marlon Espiritu. Head coach for Mindoro is Drake Santos. Assistant coaches are J.R. Carlos and Justin Data. And now the starters for your Manila, David and Ross Construction Stars. At point guard, number 1, Dan Sara. Shooting guard, number 9, Marvin Lee. At small forward, number 31, Alan Liwag. Power forward, number 32, Nat Consejo. And at center, number 30, Ronnie Matias. Head coach for Manila is Maxi Dayandante Jr. Assistant coaches are Bam Tonapa, PJ De Rosario, Rahan Chantamal, Brad Cabrera, Nico Roldan, Ricky Alcantara.
And here are your starters for this third game of the MPBL today here at Baco Arena in Manila. Loro Sara, Marvin Lee, Ronnie Matias, Corsejo, and Alan Liwag, the new addition to the Gilas pool, will be starting for Manila. Sa Mindoro naman, it's Marlon Espiritu, Ajero, Baila, Cuenco, and Sunga, starting for Coach Drake Santos.
First game out of the 2 games, pangatlong laro pa lang ito ng Manila, and it's great to see a stud like Alan Liwag. As Marvin Lee, we talked about the scoring. That's one thing for sure. Tulad ng bata natin na si Mikey Reyes. Alam na alam yan. Yung sumot.
Of course.
Eh kaya ka shoot first ang tawag sa podcast.
Tama ka dyan, Coach. Espiritu at the controls. Gives it up to Baila. He is against Matias. Baila misses on the layup try. Marvin Lee nagmamadali.
And that's one matchup Baila can take advantage of. You see the quick first step, younger legs against a vet na si Matias. Turnover daw si Marvin Lee after that first basket sa larong ito.
Espiritu tried to go for that up fake, but Matias was there to stop the shot. Lee swings it to Matias. Gets it back. Attempts a 3 that is long. Espiritu leading the break for the Tams. Cuenco over to Sunga in the left corner. Mindoro still struggling to get their first basket here. Liwag, lots of hype surrounding this kid. Played for the Emilio Aguinaldo College Generals. His first season pa lang sa NCAA, coach, and already the potential for this kid is sky high.
I believe his numbers was something like 9 points, 8 boards, couple blocks, couple steals, a guy who could do it all. Obviously, sky's the limit para sa kanya. I'm just happy, you know, for that program by Emilio Aguinaldo College, and obviously yung Gilas natin, him being a part of that. Shout out also to Richie Rivero, the UAAP champ, being a part of that pool as well.
Very deserving, of course.
Coach Oliver Bunyi, former coach of mine, head coach of AIAC.
Liwag attempts a 3 that is short. Rebound goes to the white shirts. Cuenco against Lee. Ajero gets a screen from Baila. Stopped in his tracks by Sara. Session swings back to the Stars. The home team on the run. Matias gets a nifty pass and finishes.
Good catch. I thought he was going to finish on the alley-oop 10 years ago for sure. 10 years later, not so more, but still, has a good feel around the basket. Oh, no, what a nice drive, though.
Great drive there by Espiritu, eluding the defense. Little dipsy-do action. Liwag trying to find Corsejo underneath. And it's a turnover for the Stars, and Mindoro capitalizes.
And that's 4 quick points by Espiritu, who I believe did not see action in their last game against Pasig.
Lee for 3. Hit another one earlier. This one is a miss. Sunga is met by Cosejo. Cuenco attacks the closeout. Tries to go for the reverse. Is a miss. Marvin Lee, no foul called. 5 points in the game for the former UST Growling Tiger.
Well said. Yung pinaka-importante doon, yung huling sinabi mo kung saan siya galing.
And of course, syempre, yung partner ko today, one of the most celebrated Growling Tigers in the history of the school.
Now that's overrated.
Sunga, bothered by the defense. The Stars are on transition.
Good pass.
Marvin Lee, that's where he hit his three-pointer earlier. And there's going to be a foul on the rebounds play.
And that's going to be key for me, Javi, para sa Manila. We talked about their identity, their lack of scoring options. This was the drive and excuse me move by Marvin Lee. He has 5 points in the game. Another open shot underneath. If Manila can generate open shots without having that key player inside, that's going to be big for them, because even though they don't make baskets, it's going to set up their big men for the offensive rebound. And you talk about a big man who can finish at the basket. This is a good sign para sa Manila. Pangalawang basket na ni Daddy Ronnie Matias.
And the Stars forcing a turnover there. Matias anticipating that one and finishing, getting an end one opportunity against Baila. We will be back. Time out muna tayo, mga kaibigan.
Ma'am, kayo po open. Okay. Ready kami ha? Sabay, sabay.
Welcome back, mga Kaliga. This is OK Bet Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. I'm Cedric Crespo, and this is our main game. Both teams nga are still looking for their first win this season, but that's what makes this game even more important. Who is more eager to get the win? At yan nga rin ang pinoint out ni Manila head coach, Coach Max Dayandante Jr. He said he needs his guys to be more aggressive. Bago-bago pa lang daw kasi itong team niya na nabuo a week before opening day. But he said he is still hopeful about his team because they have a leader in veteran Dan Sara that helps the team be more organized on and off the court. Now let's give it to our panel, Javi and Coach Christian.
Thank you so much, City Crespo, for that report. And that's right. It will all boil down to who wants it more. Both teams looking for their first victories here in this game. The home team, the Manila Stars, going up against the Mindoro Tams.
And to add to your point, who scores more?
Yeah, well, that is actually the goal of the game.
Right. But Marvin Lee definitely outscoring itong Mindoro. 8 points na si Marvin Lee, 7 points ba lang ang Mindoro?
Mindoro almost getting the turnover there. If you look at the rebounding story in this game, Coach, +6 ang Manila in that department.
Well, you talked about rebounding. That's one thing that probably Coach Max addressed. This was against the zone. Good pass, catch and shoot by Marvin because they were dominated in the last game against Bacolod, 56-41. So this is a nice bounce back, rebounding wise so far by Manila. Liwag, first 2 points.
Yes,
no,
that's right.
yeah, first 2 points in the MPBL.
Welcome to the
Welcome.
MPBL, Alan Bryant Liwag. And Baila getting an inside incursion. And Coach, we were talking about rebounding earlier, and this Mindoro team was out-rebounded by so much. They gave up 75 rebounds against Nueva Ecija.
Right.
So historically, when they go up against taller teams, talagang nahihirapan sila to box out and dominate the glass.
Well, that's a tough one because Nueva Ecija, I think, should dominate with the lineup that they have. Should dominate the rebounds every game, which is a part of the strength of their team. Now, talk about bouncing back, responding to the next game. Mindoro did a good job at that. 55-54 against Pasig, only down by 1. And yet, losing that game by a dozen points. That's Coach Max, you saw on your screen, Coach Britra Roma. First time to see him on the sidelines as well for Manila. But I've always believed, Javi, as the great Pat Riley would say, no rebounds, no rings. And anytime you want to have a chance to win a ball game, you have to rebound the basketball so that you have more possessions, thus having more cracks at the basket.
And you're right, Nueva Ecija, the #1 rebounding team in this league. I think mali yung stats na tinitingnan ko dito. 98 rebounds per game ang pinapaki... points per game pala.
Oh.
Nabubulag na pala ako. Okay,
Ang dami nun.
75 rebounds per game
Pero
ang Nueva
marami pa rin
Ecija.
yun, ha? Oh, 75, marami.
Yeah, I mean, to have that kind of number.
Oo, dati, tungtuwa na rin ako sa numero na yan, sa card ko 75
Manila with possession right here. The score is 16-9, 3:24 remaining in the first quarter. Teodoro is leaking out, tries to finish with his left, but is caught with a foul is Marvin Lee.
Oh, what a beautiful pass that was. I'm not sure. I think it was Baila, no? Right on the money. Tay on the other hand, left-handed player. I thought he had a better chance of finishing on the right side. Kaya napalpal ng bahagya, may contact. Minsan kasi mga fast break na ganun, gusto mo nang siguraduhin because if he splits the free throws, Manila is gonna say that was a good foul. Ayan na si Fontanilla.
And Joshua Fontanilla also from the UST Growling Tigers, played 1 season, a one-and-done player para sa Growling Tigers, now strutting his wares here in the MPBL. And Coach, Joshua Fontanilla, you've watched this guy, you went up against him in the just concluded season. What is the upside of one Joshua Fontanilla?
What I like about him is that he has this quiet confidence within himself. He's not arrogant, but at the same time, anytime you have a player like that, with his skill set, he could carry you within long stretches of the game. But this is the second group, a very talented second group led by Gary David. Yes, Gary David a vet, but he's still talented. Jump shot pa rin yan. Diba? Kobe Monhe, Batilier, diba? With the big guy. And Mark Hugh, as you see Vigan coming off the bench, nagparamdam na rin. Mark Hugh, by the way, also played well in their last game when they played in Pampanga. As you see, Gary David hits that corner shot.
And how many times have we seen that?
Too many times.
Too many times. And I will not get tired of watching Gary David nail a three-pointer. Foul given up by the Stars on the switch.
Well, yan talaga si Gary David dati. 10 years ago, hindi napapagod yan. 20 years ago sa Lyceum, I kid you not, hindi napapagod yan. And that was before he became a shooter. That was the corner shot by Gary David. Kita nyo, jump shot pa rin. And I remember him and Chico Lanete. Oh my gosh, Lyceum. In Lyceum.
Boy, what a combination that
ganda ng
was.
kombinasyon. Si Chico Lanete noon. Understatement yung quick first step. Super quick. yung kanyang first step. Si Gary David, hindi pa talaga jump shooter na. He was a big man, no? Undersized big man noong time na yon. And then in the PBL playing against him, he was with Montaña. And that's where he really developed as a scorer. As you see, the three-point field goals, Gary David has one of the 3 3-pointers. While si Baigan, one of the 2 para sa Mindoro.
Joshua Fontanilla trying to go a bit fancy right there against Vaigan. He's able to pick up a foul. Scores 21-14. 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining.
Alam mo, nakakalungkot. No? I'm not so sure about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Naging one and done si Fontanilla sa UST, pero dapat alam ko 2 years to play yan. Isa siya sa mga players na tinamaan nitong pandemic. No, the last season of the UAP, season 84, because of the pandemic, in-adjust ng bahagya yung age limit. As you see the stop by Manila. Age 25, naging 26 below. Mark Hugh trying the 3-point play. But Fontanilla, as mentioned, naging one and done siya because of that age. Tinamaan siya noon. As of the many players, a guy that sticks in my head, Gilas player, big guy, buti na lang hindi nakapaglaro. Athletic guy, it's at the tip of my tongue.
It also escapes my mind right now, Coach.
But I'm not sure if that's age, no? Pero on that regard, buti na lang, naging pabor sa amin. Okay.
Ang importante nag-champion ng UP.
Correct. But talk about yung mga players na naapektuhan. No, not only yung basketball sport, but even yung mga ibang sport, athletics as well sa NCAA. Nakakalungkot. No, yung iba was forced to go back to college. Kaya napakaganda nitong taon na to. Nakikita natin ang tulad ng MPBL dahil marami sa kanila, especially in the NCAA with the special license ng GAP. Liwag, for example, unang taon pa lang, allowed to play here. Ang ganda ng exposure, ang ganda ng experience. May Gilas pa. So, that favors yung mga players sa tulad ni Liwag.
And we also saw Alan Liwag actually already play here in the MPBL last December for EOG Sports under Coach Brit Roma. Sikos knocks down the 3-pointer from the left corner. Instant offense. Yu has the ball, gives it back to Fontanilla. Gary David is free for 3. And that is cash. Second 3-pointer of the game for El Granada. And right away, Osikos answers back.
Umuulan ba sa labas? Dito, umuulan.
Dito, sure. Fontanilla, does he want to join the party? Yu trying to find Kobe Mone underneath.
Sunod-sunod yung tres dito sa laro natin.
Baseline inbound for the blue shirts. Manila is in blue and red trimmings. Mindoro in white, blue and yellow. Dada gives it to Osikos. He's the hot hand for the Tams, but unfortunately travels on that occasion.
So only a 4-point game. No, because Manila, biggest lead was in double figures. A 4-second differential shot clock and game clock. Mindoro still has a chance to get the basketball, and maybe if they get a stop in a basket, 1 possession, heading into the second canto.
Mabilis ang balasa ng tao dito for the Manila Stars. Marvin Lee back into the game.
Yun lang. Mataas masyado yung cross-court pass para kay El Granada.
And Mindoro will have a chance to write the last sentence of the first chapter. Panlilio will direct.
Tingnan natin kung period o exclamation yan.
He's being bothered by the defense. 3 seconds left. Monhe just grazed the rim a bit. And the Manila Stars ending the first quarter up by 4 points. You know, both teams wanting to get their first victory in this one. Kenneth Osicos, part of that 3-point party between these two squads, and of course El Granada. How many times have we seen that? 2 3-pointers already in the game. Marvin Lee also part of that 3-point barrage. Score is 24-20. We will be right back with the second quarter. Please stay with us.
Shoutout po kay Madam Girly Avendan. Salamat po ma'am sa 30 pesos na. Madam Girly Avendan. God bless po sa iyo ma'am.
And we are back here at the Baco Arena for your OK Bet Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League 2022 regular season, presented by Extreme One Stop Shop Appliances. Day 12 na po. And we are in our third game as we look at the brain thrust of our beloved league, ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. You see there Commissioner Kenneth Torremdes together with Operations Head Emer Oreta and the rest of the top brass ng ating liga. You see the fans here, the supporters of the Mindoro Tams, one of them Paco Madamba, sitting this one out for Mindoro. Good sized crowd that we're having here.
Madam Girly Avendan.
And malapit dito, coach, ha?
Oo.
Avendan.
Good size crowd, tama ka dyan, no? And syempre, dito sa Manila. I'm so happy to be here. Proud Manileño.
Oo nga, coach, ang lapit mo lang pala dito.
Oo.
Happy Palanyo together with Coach Christian Luanzon and Miss Sidney Crespo manning the sidelines. Score is 24-20. The Stars up by 4 points. And Joshua Fontanilla manning the controls for Manila. Batalier kicks it out. Then you see here first quarter field goal story. 10 out of 23 para sa Manila and 7 out of 17 for Mindoro. They're lucky to be down by just 4 points.
Tama ka dyan, no? At one point, Manila was shooting close to 60%. That was the time they were up by 10. Marvin Lee, obviously a big part of that run. Pero nakabalik itong Mindoro with the 3-point shooting spree themselves. Both teams had a combined 8 made 3-pointers in the first quarter alone. But the last thing that you want, especially for Manila against this zone by Mindoro, you don't want to fall in love with the 3 so much. You want to attack the ball inside, get good quality shots, and attack the offensive glass, which is the weakness of a zone. That's a foul! That's a foul! That's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. Should have been a foul.
That was, and I agree with you, Coach, kasi bumangga and it got the landing space of Gary David on that one, but nonetheless, a 3-pointer for El Granada. The third of this game brings the lead of Manila up to 7 points.
Look at this one. Unless the replay says otherwise, that's clearly a foul.
Baigan hit the hip of Gary David as he was landing down there.
If that's not a foul, I don't know what a foul is.
And we have a report from Sidney Crespo. Sid?
Mindoro head coach Drake Santos admits na marami pa talaga ang kailangan trabahuhin ng kanyang players, and specifically he thinks they have to work on their maturity and decision making. But only having Teodoro as a veteran, according to Coach Drake, kailangan pa raw nilang i-maximize ang kanilang opportunities on the floor. Your thoughts on this, Javi and Coach Christian?
Well, that's right. You know, I mean, having Rodel Vaigan and Dede Teodoro leading your team, it should really rub off on the younger players. But of course, this will be a process, Coach, and I'm sure you know this, being a coach yourself.
Well, it's an opportunity for them to lead because, you know, yung experience ng dalawa, lalo na si Tate Teodoro, who has championship experience with Batangas, or playoff experience for that matter. That's another foul, by the way. Rodel Baigan. But anytime you have the chance to lead, especially yung mga bagito, it's always a privilege and at the same time a challenge, because you're gonna have to outwork them. You're gonna have to show them what being a pro is all about, being the first in the gym, the last guy to leave, yung mga things like that, and outworking everyone. So, Mindoro right now, with a three-point play coming up, can trim this lead down to a basket.
Is here Christian Palma absorbing the contact against Roldan Sara and getting the banker to go. Bank is open at 9:33 p.m. on a Saturday. The basket will count, but I believe there was a foul called underneath. So possession will stay with Mindoro.
Well, kaya tulad yan, sa huling sinabi mo. MPBL, parang bangko din yan. We find ways.
Tama. Palma looking for Tidoro. Baila offers the pick. Palma drives baseline, tries to go for the reverse. Tough shot right there, and Batalier ends up with the board. Sara
Gary
pushing
David.
the basketball. Gary David! Akala ko makikita na natin yung nagliliyap na kamay eh.
He's the exception to the rule, by the way. He can fall in love with the three as much as he can.
And
May karapatan.
Osico starts to sidestep his way through the basket, but is denied by Allen Liwag. And Coach, curious also for me right now, we're already almost 3 minutes into the second quarter. No Jeremy Arthur yet for Manila.
Oo, siya yung binanggit natin at the top of the coverage, no? Na who I thought at least, is their best driver getting to the basket. But so far their shooting, especially from downtown, has allowed them to take control of this game and this early lead.
And I think, Coach, you were saying earlier that Manila shouldn't fall in love with a three-point shot and also, have a variety in their offense. And then Jeremy Arthur could really be a catalyst in that, attacking the defense. But Sara attempting another three-pointer. But, Manila will take that as long as it goes through the net.
Yun lang, may foul off the ball. Mukhang against Mindoro pa. Baka unsportsmanlike pa to. Dahil humahawak sa leeg si Liwag. Ito yung three-point shot. Tingin sa ilalim.
Okay.
That's clearly an unsportsmanlike since it goes against the rule na above the shoulder, no?
Yes. And can this merit a penalty too, Coach?
Posible yan. Depende kung talagang...
Above the shoulder kasi, no?
Kung talagang, lalo na kung mapatunayan o kung maging convincing na yung intention talaga nandun.
And this is could be a turning point for Mindoro because they were already closing in on Manila's lead. Just down by 3 earlier before that three-pointer by Sara. And our officials trying to convene and decide what the proper sanction should be on Osicos. Still, and here's the decision.
So, common foul lang, no? Tama?
Yes, it's just a common foul, so no free throws right here.
So, ang judgment doon, incidental contact.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised by that call even after, but, obviously, mas may alam yung mga officials natin, may benefit of the replay.
Oh, no, okay, I stand correct. I sit corrected, rather.
Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike
okay,
foul.
unsportsmanlike. There you go. Pero penalty 1 lang.
Yeah, penalty 1. So it's going to be 2 free throws plus ball possession para dito sa Manila. Chance to pad on to their 6-point lead.
Malaki tong Liwag. Mahaba, no?
Mahaba eh. He's a beanpole.
Huwag na siyang magpakalbo. Yung height niya na 2 inches babawas eh. Ganda, medyo kulot pa naman siya. And trust me, when I talk about hair, I know it. I'm an expert. Insecure expert.
Di na lang ako magsasalita, Coach, kasi baka karmahin ako.
Good.
Cosejo, meanwhile, 6 the floater. 9-point lead by the Stars. Christian Palma Trying to locate Teodoro.
He missed Chodoro on the back door right there.
Recto will drive.
Short.
A miss right there by the Tams. Stars in transition. A turnover given up. Palma
Good
kicks it
pass.
out to Vigan. Low. Now that is definitely a foul, and our referees did not hesitate to call that.
Definitely a foul. I'm not sure if it's a defensive foul or an offensive foul.
Oh, let's look at the replay.
Look at the
again.
replay right here. Look at Vigan's left hand. That's an offensive foul. That's an offensive foul.
Kasi siya pinabagsak niya.
Correct. So, I wonder what the initial call was. Regardless, because you cannot turn around a foul. Meaning, kung ano yung unang tawag mo, yun eh. You cannot reverse that. So, offensive foul ang tawag. Right? But it felt like the call was gonna be for Mindoro.
So it was going to be, it is an offensive foul,
foul.
but the basket, I believe, will count as the score reads 27-33. So just a 6-point advantage na lang para sa Manila. But a personal foul method on Vigan.
1-3-1 naman yan para sa Mindoro. 2-3 kanina.
Sara can't go too straight. Outlet pass to Teodoro. Baila is trailing.
And that's the advantage when you go into zone. Anytime it's a one and done, you force the miss. That's a fast break formation. Chodoro, nice pass. Baila, nice finish.
We'll see that action right again. Great location right there. And the veteran Tete Teodoro, very patient, waiting for his big man to run the floor. 33-29 is our score. Time out muna tayo mga kaibigan. We will be right back.
Shoutout po kay Boss Alvin Mendoza. Salamat po, Boss Alvin Mendoza. God bless po sa iyo. Shoutout din daw sa Barangay Lungog, Narvacan, Ilocosur. Sabi ni Boss Alvin Mendoza. Shoutout sa Barangay Lungog, Narvacan, Ilocosur. Shoutout sa inyo dyan mga boss. Shoutout po ulit sa Barangay Lungog, Narvacan, Ilocosur. From Alvin Mendoza. Salamat po, boss.
Alan Liwag in the Manila Stars, leading the Mindoro Tams by 4, 33-29. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining sa ating second quarter. Happy Palanyo together with Coach Christian Luanzon and Miss Sydney Crespo on courtside duty. Possession for the Stars.
A little full court trap of a timeout, no? That will end in a 1-3-1 zone. This is still a zone. Yeah.
Manalo gets it back. Trying to find Liwag underneath. Little power step backwards but misses. Oh, Mindoro.
Yun lang.
Christian Palma, just a little butterfingers with
Unfortunate.
that letter.
If you're Manila, no, the last two trips unconverted, but it's been open looks. That's a concern to me in terms of the defense ng Mindoro. They're forcing a guy like Manalo to shoot, pero pinalitan na siya. Pero yung pasa sa ilalim kay Liwag, that could have been a score. You want to prevent those types of open looks.
Marvin Lee for 3. That's off to the right. Mindoro in transition. Tete with a hand in his face. Short. And Liwag secures the board. And an errant pass right there by the debuting EAC General. How important, Coach, is the addition of Alan Liwag to the depth of this front court ng Manila Stars.
So one thing that's important there is that nadagdagan ng talent tulad niya sinabi mo, because I'm not used to seeing Manila at the bottom of the standings. You're talking about a team in the last 2 seasons na sanay na laging nasa conference finals. And I was messaging one of their team owners, a good friend of mine, si Roman Ang. Sabi ko, pare, hindi ako sanay na ganito yung lineup mo kasi usually nasa kanila yung mga, either yung mga masisipag o yung mga pinakamahuhusay na manlalaro. No, guys like Carlo Lastimosa, wala na dyan. No, Gabby Espinas, wala na dyan. Jologo, who's in the PBA right now, wala na rin dyan. So this is practically new faces para sa Manila, except for, I believe, si Marvin Lee and si Ronnie Matias, even si Roldan Sara. But the rest, new faces and not so big names, so to speak.
Baila, second chance is up and in. Trying to pick up from where he left off and continue his stellar play, especially on the offensive end for Coach Drake Santos, talking about Dariel Baila. Sara against the zone to Matias. That trickles out by Gan with the board.
That's usually automatic para kay Ronnie Matias. Has always had a good feel around the basket.
He doesn't seem to age. The first time I watched him as a kid, he still looks the same.
I beg to differ. Nag-age na siya, and that's
Okay.
because what you like about him, that I say this as a compliment. Ang maganda kasi, nung mas bata pa siya, ganyan na yung laro niya. It's just a step slower. Meaning, he wasn't a high leaper, he wasn't the fastest runner. As you see, the replay of the offensive foul, clearly for Manila. But talking about Ronnie Matias, he's been at times an undersized big man, but he has played bigger than his height. He was a guy who was a terrific rebounder. Magugulat ka na lang at the end of the game. He might have had 6-8 points, but he has 15 boards. But still, that feel around the basket, ang ganda kasi yung finish niya inside the paint.
And right there on that sequence, was trying to get a pass to Cosejo, but Liwag was wide open on the opposite short corner.
Alam mo kung sino yung ageless? Si Marky. Yung numbers, ganun pa rin.
Yun talaga.
Yung numbers, yung pa rin eh.
And really still can compete with the best of them. Oh, our rebound right there by Cuenco. It just misses on the putback. Sara will challenge the defense. The Tams on the repossession. Vaigan to his buddy, Tete Teodoro. Catch, set, fire, splash.
And that's a big basket, not only to take the lead, but a booster confidence shot because he was 1 for 5 before that made basket.
Mindoro able to string a number of stops. Espiritu.
Ganda naman ng recovery na yon. Kaya lang, hindi maganda yung sinalubong sa kanya ni Matias.
Parang ramdam ko yun ah.
Oo.
Kitang-kita mo yung alog ng ulo eh. Excellent kick out by Vaigan. A wide open Tete Teodoro for the 3. Points to the heavens. And thanks the Lord for the make. And magbabalik muna tayo mga kaibigan. Time out muna.
Shoutout po sa 200 plus viewers natin dyan mga boss. Happy viewing po sa inyo mga boss.
And nagbabalik po tayo dito for your OK Bet Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League 2022 regular season presented by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. 34-33 is the score. Lamang na po dito ang Mindoro after the home team, Manila Stars, was in control for majority of this first half. 2:42 remaining dito sa first half. Happy Planning together with Coach Christian Luanzon and Miss Sydney Crespo manning the sidelines. What has been the biggest factor in the resurgence of Mindoro in this game?
Tay Chodoro coming off the bench, 7 points. After that 3. Let's see if that could increase yung kanyang kumpiyansa to make baskets. Mukhang yun nga yun with that move. Fell short lamang. And this is a strategy, you know, part of the adjustment probably by Coach Drake Santos. Instead na i-start si Baigan at si Chodoro, coming off the bench sila ngayong game.
To anchor their second unit, and it has worked wonders for them. But this one was a starter, Dariel Baila.
Ano tawag doon? Rumichi.
Richie Rivero.
Ganda ng sidestep ni Baila. Big man yun, ha?
Oo nga. But this guy is not a big man, but he does have big guts and a big heart. Talking about Joshua Fontanilla, but just losing the ball on that occasion. Is here Baigan, giving it to his big man Baigan. Sorry, rather Baila, eluding the defense of Matias with that sidestep. Coach Baigan and Tay Teodoro have only combined for 12 points in that game against Pasig, but right now they're combined 13 points.
+1 traveling. And that's one thing that I think Baigan is gonna have to learn as a jump shooter. His next step is to become a dangerous driver. Because as a shooter, you can expect long closeouts. So you have to take advantage of that. That's the easiest drive to make of closeout errors. Madalas nangyayari sa kanya, nagsashuffle yung feet niya of the shot fake.
And of course, Coach, you would know that because you were a good scorer in your playing days.
Stop. Dahil yung panahon namin, VHS pa, halatang halata. Yan o, ang kataas ng jump shot ni Baigan.
He really does have that lift, no? Talagang jump shooter itong si Rodel Baigan.
Super jump shot.
Super jump shot.
Oh, bumaba na nga yung talon yan sa totoo lang. Noong unang season
sa lagay na yan, pabwaba na yan.
Yun lang, unsportsmanlike. Oo.
And this will be
Matias yata.
actually the second one of this game.
Kahit hindi ko nakita, mukhang si Matias yan.
We'll see what our referees will decide, but our camera is focusing on Ronnie Matias. So possibly siya ang mapapatawan ng unsportsmanlike.
You know, that's one disadvantage compared to back in the day wherein ang hirap huliin because of lesser cameras. Ngayon,
their cameras everywhere.
Sa UAP, sa PBA.
Talaga wala kang takas.
Wala kang takas eh. At ang mabigat pa ron, makalusot ka man, may review pa after ng game.
So pwede ka pang mapatawan ng punishment after the game.
Oo, pwede ka mo suspend kung talaga mapatunayan, no?
And true enough, it is on Ronnie Matias, and he's forced to go back to the Manila bench. But I think regular foul lang ang tinawag. No, okay.
No, it's a sportsmanlike
foul, yeah. The call will stand on the floor.
Mindoro can extend this lead. What a turnaround para sa kanila if they could sustain this in the less than a minute dito before the first half ends after being down by 10 early on. Yun lang.
Consistency really has been the problem of Mindoro all throughout the season. They've had good starts. It's just at one point of the game, biglang they will lose steam and let the opposing squad get the better of them.
And to your point, that's something I think that Coach Drake expects sa kanyang bago and young players. I think what's crucial is how you always respond to those inconsistencies.
Fontanilla, main point guard here para sa Manila Stars. In fact, they have a 2-guard rotation here with Marvin Lee also on the floor.
Very
Side
nice.
step. Floater is just short. Baila secures the leather.
2-second differential shot clock and game clock. So tama Raus. They should have the last shot. Manila in the zone.
Cuenco trying to look for Baila. Baigan to Espiritu. Cuenco. 5 seconds remaining. Batalier. That was too strong. Just hit the backboard. And Joshua Fontanilla and the Manila Stars, the home squad, collapsing some sort in the end of that second quarter to relinquish the lead to Mindoro. As you look at the highlights of one, Tete Teodoro has sparked the run and is a big reason why they are up by 3 points going into the half. Score is 36-33. We will be right back with the second half. Huwag niyo kaming iniwan mga kaibigan.
Shoutout po muna tayo mga boss. Libre lang magpa-shoutout mga boss. Comment na kayo mga boss. Kung gusto nyo magpa-shoutout. Shoutout sa 170 viewers natin. Mga 10 minutes pa ata to mga boss sa halftime bago ma-start ulit. Shoutout po ulit kay Madam Girly Avendan at saka kay Boss Alvin Mendoza. Shoutout po sa inyo dalawa mga boss.